Welcome to the Fix My Back workout. This is specifically for the lower back, lumbar spine. Now, if your back is in spasm or in terrible pain, you might not be able to do this much movement. But the workout begins simply by swinging the arms, reaching up a bit, starting to stretch out your body. This is low impact, but we start on the feet with a good warm-up. We've got to get your whole body warm first. You can open the chest, open the shoulders, continue to swing the arms. And if you're ready, standing up nice and straight, our first movement is a toe tap with an overhead reach. I'm just opening the chest and shoulders a little bit here. So you're moving the foot to step all the way behind the other foot. And at the same time, the arm is reaching overhead, and you want to stay upright and as tall as you can. Keep your head and neck neutral, but try to feel the stretch in your rib cage, in your lats. Try to feel your side open. And as you bring the foot behind you, you should be able to feel the hip also open. As the hip opens and as you continue to move, you can either go a little faster or slower at your own pace. Now our next movement is going to be a standing leg lift crunch. Your hands aren't actually going to touch your legs. The hands are in front of the knee without touching the knee. There's a space there. And you exhale as you come forward, bring the knee as high as you can, and you are crunching your body. Crunch just enough while still coming up tall. Open your arms wide so you feel the back of your shoulders working. So the upper back is getting a little work here too. Now working on balance is very important for lower back strength. Standing on one foot is actually very valuable for getting all those core muscles to engage. Exhale as you come over tight over that knee.
3, 2.
Yeah, gorgeous day in Brooklyn here. Nice. Breathe a little bit, and anytime you need a break, take a break, or if you need to modify something, modify it. Next up is twist punches. This is a classic. You let your hips twist, let your whole body swivel, and then reach out. Once you reach out, bring your hand back pretty quickly, like a spring. We've got a little Lola appearance. Yay. Continue to twist your shoulders, rotate the hips, and if it feels like it's too much of a reach, don't reach out too far, and just work with a speed that feels good to you. If you want to get your heart rate up higher and burn a few more calories, get warmer, that's a good thing. It's good for the back, good for the heart. You can reach up also at a diagonal to stretch the shoulders and stretch the back a little further. If that makes your neck a little tight, reach down a little lower. Continue to work with speed. Pull the shoulders back, relax your whole body. And knee-high hugs are going to come up next.
2, 1.
Knee-high hug is grabbing a leg, pulling it in towards the chest. You can keep your feet flat and come up just far enough. There's a major emphasis you'll notice on opening the hips, getting the hips more mobile. We all spend a little too much time sitting down, traveling. We're in front of a computer, and the front of the leg and hip and quad will get extremely tight, which then pulls on the back. To progress this, come up onto your toes. Make it a little more challenging. Keep your head neutral, head nice and tall. Try to pull your shoulder blades back behind you. And if it's too difficult, keep it easier. Next thing we're going to do is just a quad stretch. Try to catch your foot. If you can do it standing on one leg, that's optimal because then you're firing all those small muscles that work on balance. If you need something to hold on to, like a satellite dish or anything else that may be around, don't be afraid to use it. Use a wall. Try to hold there long enough that you can tilt your hip forward. Get your hip into it. If you want to hold one leg longer, hold one leg longer. If you can use both hands, use both hands. But to save your back, it's imperative that we open the hips. Nice, last couple of seconds here. Now, if you have a mat or something soft, it's exactly what you need. We're going to be doing a kneeling stretch next. This is a thin yoga mat, so I'm going to fold it some to put my knee down. And you're looking for right angles with the leg. Make sure the leg that is down, with the knee down, that the back top of the leg is flat. And then we want to tilt the hip in and under. Tilting the hip in is going to make it a more effective stretch. Now I am adding mobility here, some movement so that the joint can loosen up a little more while keeping the spine neutral. You can lean forward or backward. If you want a bigger stretch, reach up overhead. Reach up overhead with the same side arm to get more of a stretch out of that side. You should feel it in the hip, in the oblique, in the quad. And then we're going to shift right to the other side. Same thing. Your back might be a little tight. You might have a little angel like me as well. Trying to stay very loose. We don't want to make this any more tense than you need to. But play with it. Work back and forth just to loosen up the joint. You can add that hand on the outside of the leg, pushing into the leg to get a little bit more of a stretch. Move the leg in and out towards the center line of your body and away. Reach up with that arm, of course, to get a bigger stretch in the hip, the oblique, the psoas and hip flexor. All of these muscles that will eventually pull your hips out of alignment, and your back is the thing that suffers. Now, if you've got your mat, open it all the way back out. And what we're going to be doing next is very important. We're going to lay down face up, and we're just working on bridging. Now, it can start out with a tiny tilt. I'm not trying to go all the way up here. I'm just tilting my hips under my body slightly. And if your back is really tight, you don't have to go further than that. Our goal is to roll the spine up one disc at a time and roll it back down. So you're trying to really get every articulation in the spine. Tilting the hip under and then rolling all the way down. Get a little pause at the top to feel the muscles work. This is possibly one of the most important exercises in strengthening all of the muscles in the posterior chain, everything across your back. And you can always make it slower or smaller. It's your preference. Next thing we're doing is coming into quadruped on all fours. And you may want to do a little cat, camel, flexing, extending the spine a couple times before we go right into bird dog, raising opposite arm, opposite leg. Now, the arm and leg do not need to go very high. In fact, they shouldn't go too high. And your eyes should actually be looking down at the mat. You can look up a little bit to enjoy the day, but then keep your neck neutral by keeping your head and eyes looking down. Hold for about 1 to 2 seconds each time. You can bring elbow to knee a few times if you want to make it a little harder. Get the core working. Try doing about 3 reps. And then try the other side, exhaling as you bring elbow to knee. So getting in the last rep or 2 here because I love this one. And then I'm going to lay all the way down, face down. And you can put your hands one on top of the other and put your forehead on top of it. Rest for a few moments. And then spread your arms out wider and come up into a cobra stretch. It should not be an extremely high cobra stretch. This is a press up. So we're working on mobility in the lower back. We're trying to push those intervertebral discs back into place. Pause at the top every time, 2 or 3 seconds. And again, you should be looking down to keep your head neutral. Try not to squeeze your glutes, but try to relax your legs and lower body. If you need to stay down at the bottom longer to relax the muscles, of course you can. Now we're gently going to turn your body over, no rush, and we're going to hug one knee at a time, bringing it in towards the body, and the other leg's going to float. I'm going to keep it up off the ground. Now, the thing to remember here is left hand, left ankle, right hand, right ankle, and the other arm reaches over the knee. Same side hand reaches same side ankle. If you can keep your head up, that's perfect. Now I'm inhaling, exhaling to get the core to work. Breathe in, breathe out. Breathe in, breathe out. Inhaling and exhaling. Inhale, exhale. If you need to put your head down, put your head down. But try to pull in the abs, engage the core as you work. This is core work and flexibility. Now the next thing we need is a stretch for the glutes, and it's going to be keyhole stretch. So crossing one leg over the other, I'm going to lace my fingers over the knee and pull in. Please ignore the paint on my thumbs, as one of my daughters was experimenting, refining her abilities. So I'm trying to pull the ankle towards my chin, and then I want to lean tilt my whole body into it so I can feel the stretch. Now the modification is to lace the fingers over that knee and pull the knee in right towards your heart. Pull the center line. Put your head down, it's more relaxing. But lean and tilt with this stretch so you can find it deeper in the glutes. Tight glutes mean a tight lower back. Yeah, some New York City traffic there. Now we're just going to switch up, crossing over on the other side. I'm going to try to keep the hips even. Lace the hands over the leg. And imagine pulling the ankle in right towards your chin. And then I'm going to start to tilt a little bit. I'm going to lean and turn my body a little further so I can get further into those glutes. As you feel the muscles loosen up, try to go a little further. Yeah, try to have some fun with it. When you're ready, move your hands over to the other knee. Switch to the other side and hug that knee in towards your heart. So you're going to pull that knee in right towards the center line of your body. You may have to lean over a little further and relax your neck. Put your head down.
Yeah. It's like...
I'm holding a few extra seconds here because I wanted to make them even. You can always hold the stretch longer if you need to. And we are coming back to the kneeling stretch. Now that we've done a lot of work all around, I want to come back to the stretch to see if we can open the hips a little further. Push the tibia and shin bone down on that back leg. Keep your shoulders back. Try not to tense any other part of your body any more than you need to. You can work back and forth. Yeah, they're blowing bubbles in the backyard. Go figure. Nice and easy, back and forth. If you feel a perfect angle, stay in it, go a little deeper. You can twist into the leg to get a little more out of the stretch. And then, of course, the other side. Push that tibia, shin bone of the back leg down into the ground with floor. You can keep that leg really lined. You don't necessarily want it to be falling out or in. I turn into that leg a little bit to get a little more stretch in the IT band in the outer leg. And then listen to your body. Stretch as far as it feels natural. And if it feels like things are opening up, excellent. Don't push harder or further than you need to. If you feel like you want to hold any given stretch longer, then do it. Listen to your body. Always listen to your instincts. From here, stand up, move around, shake out your body, have some water. You can pause this anytime. We're going into a different section here. Now, if you have a foam roller, it can be really helpful for the lower back. I'm setting it up so that we're actually going to lean back and bring it under your lumbar spine, but also the top of the glutes. So it's going to be on the lower back, but also touching the top of the glutes. Make sure it feels comfortable. And then we're going to do that knee hug. Right arm, right ankle, and we're actually going to stay with this side. Now I'm tilting my whole body to lift it off and feel both hips stretch. Lengthen the other leg long. Keep it as long as you can. And when you feel a good stretch, hold. You may want to tilt a little further, more. You can bring that knee outside or inside to stretch a little more of the inner leg, outer leg. Find an angle that feels good. And increasing mobility is almost always going to help with any kind of back pain. Bring the other leg up to switch sides. And then left hand, left ankle. Play with it. You don't have to stay perfectly still. And this is a movement, an exercise that you can do every day. Unless your back is incredibly inflamed or if your physician recommends against it, this is something that is good for you every day. Remember to lengthen your other leg. As you hug that knee in, imagine your other leg getting longer, pointing away from you, opening the hips. Once you've done both legs here, and you may have to do it again, you may have to switch legs back and forth a couple times, we're actually going to stay on this foam roller and we are going to bring both knees up very carefully.
At least it's someone else.
Now you'll notice I'm going to adjust a little bit. I went a little bit more on my glutes because I'm looking for trigger points, tight knots that can be in the glutes or lower body. My legs are at about a right angle.
Okay.
With my hands holding on to either side, I'm tilting over to the side, looking for areas that are tight and also getting a stretch in the obliques. If it feels good, you can go all the way over and get a full stretch. Hold. As you come back, you don't have to come back all the way. You can wiggle back and forth, looking for areas that are tight. Tight areas, trigger points, are bundles of tight tissue that will impede movement and actually cause more pain. We do want to break them up. So if you find an area that is tight, try to stay on it for up to 30 seconds or move back and forth across it to try to break up that tight tissue. Now, normally we would stay on here longer. If you want to do more, obviously do more. Now, one of the best ways I have found to dismount is to very gently put your feet down flat and then tilt the back all the way up. Then scoot that foam roller out and then relax. Now, our final thing is we're going to do some more bridging. Now that we've gotten everything loose, we've opened up every area, we want to come back to strengthening all of those muscles in the lower back, the glutes, the hamstrings. If you can go up further, go up further. Yep, I'm going to stop that foam roller from rolling away. I really thought it was going to go off the roof for a moment. When you finish, turn sideways to get up. It's easier. Well done. If you keep this up, I know that you can fix your back.